thank all of you for coming out this afternoon. This is an exciting day for Wisconsin basketball. It's also an exciting day for our athletic program, athletic department, and for all of our fans. Today, I'm very proud and excited to introduce the next basketball coach at the University of Wisconsin, Gard.
We can go ahead and start with some opening comments from Coach Gard.
Well, it took me 26 years to get here, so I figured why not just drag it on a little longer. Coach, the elevator's a little slow coming up from LeBon, so.
But you were in a lighted Cobb.
Yeah, well, I think they turned off the lights, didn't they? Lock all the doors. First of all, obviously, this is an extremely special moment for me. Our family, who you'll be meeting a little bit, but I think just special for the state of Wisconsin from a standpoint of being one of their own that's been able to trek through their career at various stops around the state and to ultimately be in this position to be able to lead your home state institution's flagship school into the future. And it's something that I am extremely proud of. I take extremely seriously, extremely serious, and have great pride in this institution and what it represents, and what this state is about, and what the people of this state are about. And I could not be any happier, more excited, or more proud to be able to be the next head basketball coach at the University of Wisconsin. With that said, there's obviously people I need to thank that have helped make this journey possible. Starting first with Chancellor Blank. Conversations with her have always been positive, and she's a terrific leader of this campus and this institution. The UW Athletic Board, the Board of Regents, our athletic administration team, specifically Walter Dickey, our sport administrator Justin Doherty, and Coach Alvarez. And Coach Alvarez has been a mentor and a tremendous influence on me, not only in the last 3 months, but over the course of my 15 years here, even before he was at the athletics director. Somebody that I've always leaned on for a little bit of advice here and there. I've always thought that success in sport was not sport specific. And to watch him from afar, and then obviously up close as he built the football program, and then has continued to lead this athletic department into a bright future, is always somebody that I've leaned on now and again, and he's been tremendous over the past 3 months in terms of giving me space, but at the same time being there as a former coach to lean on and to ask questions of, and he gave me the best advice of all, was just be yourself and coach your team. Also for all the coaches, teachers, administrators, people that have helped me through my career, looking to see specifically, obviously, Steve Randall was my high school coach at Iowa Grand, who went on to Oshkosh West, and he passed away 12 years ago. His wife, Cindy, has joined us here today, and Cindy, it's good to see you, and thanks for coming. My first job, the AD that hired me, Bill Taylor at Southwestern School District, as an 8th grade coach back in 1990, and then the first coach that really got me off and going, Jim Nedelkoff, the State Hall of Fame coach in both football and basketball at Southwestern. And Jim, Coach, it's great to see you here today. And Pauline, thanks for coming. I walked in there with nothing but a warm-up and a clipboard and a whistle. And 3 years later, I walked out well on my way to having a successful career because of the knowledge and experience you passed on to me, Coach. So thank you for all you've done for me over the course of my career. Then I was on to Platteville High School. Greg Quam, I know I've seen him 1 year with Greg, and then on to UW Platteville. And I've obviously got to thank Coach Ryan, his family. He took a chance on me 23 years ago as a student assistant. Had great confidence and a vision in me in terms of what could become and the potential that I had. and obviously I'm grateful for him for the opportunities he's given me over the course of time. For all the assistants and staff that I've worked with at all the places, Southwestern, Platteville, Milwaukee, and then here at Wisconsin. The former players at each stop, thanks for believing in me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for working. Thanks for putting up with me. To our current team, obviously our managers that joined us back there, our management team. Are you guys still in first place in the Big Ten in the standings? Good. Did you win the league? Good. All right. They played before our games against the other managers, so they get a conference championship. To our support staff, Peg and Laura, Mark, Kat, AJ, our video coordinator, all the people upstairs that have helped. From day one on December 16th when I met with you, we knew this was going to be a group effort and we were going to have to accomplish this together. And you've been phenomenal since the very beginning from that first meeting. Academic supports, Mary and Tracy downstairs do a phenomenal job. Gary and Otto also in equipment. Henry and Eric, sports medicine and in strength and conditioning. Two people that make a huge difference and are difference makers in making our student athletes' lives better. To my assistant coaching staff, Lamont, where are you guys hiding? Okay, Lamont, thanks for believing in us a while ago when I picked you up at the airport when you came in from Akron, and it's been a great relationship. Gary, for all your hard work, and Howard for giving up that infamous job on BTN and wanting to come back home. I appreciate that. And at the time, that was a phenomenal asset to us. And obviously to our current players. Where are you guys hanging? There they are. As I've said from day one, this wasn't about me. This wasn't an audition. This was about you guys and how we were going to grow together, get better, learn. As I told you last night, the job you guys have done is second to none in terms of how you've bonded, how you matured. I'm so proud to be your coach, and I know this is just the beginning, but thanks to each and every one of you for making this so special and to make this opportunity possible for me. To our extended family that's here, I've got mother-in-law and father-in-law, Michelle's mom and stepdad, Steve and Judy. Thanks for all your support. I know we got some watching up in northern Wisconsin, Michelle's dad on BTN, so hello to Jim and Peg, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everything you've done. My brothers, the only smart one in the group that didn't get into coaching is my middle brother, Gary, and his wife, Sarah, and their kids, Caleb and Haley, are here. Also my brother, Jeff, who's now the head coach at UW-Platteville, his wife, Amy, and kids, Hannah and Vincent. And obviously, where this all begins is always at home. And it all started in a little town about 60 miles from here. You all know where it is now. Maybe you didn't 15 years ago, but Cobb's pretty popular today. And for my mom, Connie, for you to be here. And Dad's here as well. He's just watching from above. But thank you for everything, all you've done. And to my kids, Mackenzie, Isaac, and Peyton, it's not easy being a coach's kid. I know that. You've given up a lot. But you've been phenomenal. You don't ride the wins and losses wave too much. Right, Mackenzie? But thank you for being there every day, and thank you for being supportive, and proud to be your dad. And obviously, behind every successful person, there's always a rock, and one that really makes everything function. And I can't say enough about my wife, Michelle. It was that's the best recruiting job I've ever done. I'll never have one top that. So, Michelle, thank you for everything. This is not entirely possible, obviously, not only the past year and everything we've gone through, but over the course of time. I really appreciate you being right with me side by side. Without further ado, obviously, like I said, I'm extremely proud to be here as the head coach at the University of Wisconsin. This place is special. This place is unique. We're so excited about the future, which starts in a couple hours with practice again, and then on to the Big Ten tournament, and then into the NCAA tournament. But we'll do our best every single day to make Badger Nation proud and make you extremely happy to wear the red and white and on Wisconsin. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thanks, Coach. We've got microphones on each side, if you can flag it down. Jim?
Greg, is surreal a decent word to describe the last 24 hours or so?
Yeah, it has been, just because we've taken such a day-by-day focus, and that's really how I've focused my whole career. I've really never got caught up into where I was in terms of my career, never had a barometer set or a timeline set on when I needed to be a head coach or wanted to be a head coach. It was always about gut instinct and finding the right place with the right people. And I think that's really what has made this place so special. Yeah, obviously, the Kohl Center and the facilities and this campus and this university are world class, but the people here really put it over the top, and that's kept me here. That's really been the difference maker for me, and I hope it'll continue to be the difference maker in the future. And it'll be the difference maker for those that come here and play in the future and our student athletes here. But yes, the last 24 hours, to get back to your question, Jim, it has been surreal. Everything's been moving so fast in terms of our focus on the season and trying to work one day at a time, that you never got too caught up into what was going to happen down the road. I didn't worry about what was going to, and you've heard me say that many times, about what was going to happen in the future. We were just going to control what was within our grasp that specific day.
Jeff?
Barry, you talked at some point during their 7-game winning streak about the improvement you had seen, but I'm just curious if you can share, as that went on and as the season progressed, when you first started to get a really solid, concrete inkling that this was the direction to go.
Well, there was a culmination and a number of things that went through my process of evaluating. First of all, it was very impressive to me how Greg took the bull by the horns and implemented his offense, and gradually improved his team, improved the players, had a plan to incorporate more players to build depth, and you could just see the team. And I've been quoted as saying this before, you don't have to be a great basketball person to see the improvement as the season went along. But I also look at other things. I look at when you have a game and you don't play as well, or you get beat, you have a long winning streak, you lose a tough game to a good team, how do you bounce back? Or if you have some adversity, how do you bounce back? If you don't play well, how do you respond the next day? And I saw an even keel with the players, and which tells me that Greg and his staff have gotten through to the players. There's great communication and response from the players. You also have to take a look at how you deal with other people, how you deal with the booster clubs, how you deal with the media, and everything was A+. I just didn't see anything that was below standard. I just thought he did an excellent job of managing the entire job. And to watch the bottom line is to see that team get better and better, play against very good teams. I think, when it spoke volumes when you can go into Maryland and they're ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the country, beat them at home. You beat a good Michigan State team. You beat Iowa, who was ranked in the top 5 at one time. To go down there, beat them on the road, to see how far that team has come speaks volumes. So it was a culmination of all those things that kept selling me on Greg as the right person.
Barry, how much value do you place on having a coach with local knowledge and kind of one of our own, so to speak, in your high-profile positions?
Yeah, I think it's easier to have one who knows it all, who knows how we operate, who has a plan that's been successful and understands the plan, that understands the University of Wisconsin, understands that our student athletes come here to get a degree, and it's not just lip service, that they're going to go to class and they're going to be serious students. All those things are very important. So it's not that you can't learn it, but when you have someone who does understand it, it makes it easier for me, and it is important. But it wasn't a necessity. People can, you can find a fit from outside. But it makes it much more easier, and it's more of a guarantee.
Coach, you'll be proud of me. I'll use one of your words, but what was the toughest part about this process all along?
I don't know if there really was a tough part of the process. It was always just focused. I think that the best thing that helped me was just focusing on each day for what it was, and knowing there was another practice to prepare for, another game to prepare for, that we always had something in front of us to accomplish, and we always had goals to achieve and to try to get better. And that was really the main thing. I never worried about, you've heard me use the word process a lot, and I've used it with the team specifically, about not worrying about the scoreboard or what the results were going to be. Take care of the task at hand every single day, and boil down to simply a drill at a time. And I really tried to apply that, too, for how I looked at all of this and approached it. We were going to put our best foot forward. We're going to try to make sure these 17 young men over there had the best experience possible. And how they've grown and how they've matured, and like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more. I'm extremely proud of how they've come, how far they've come, because they're the ones that have really steered this in the right direction and really made this day possible.
Coach, I guess talking a little bit more on that, you talk about these players and how much they've helped you to get to this point. How exactly how have they helped you, as opposed to necessarily what they've done on the court, but how have they helped you as far as this transition into becoming the head coach?
Well, they've all bought in, and I've talked a lot about having 2 feet in the boat and making sure don't leave 1 foot on the pier. You get both in the boat and get both hands on the oar, and let's all go in the right direction. And I think the biggest thing for me to communicate with them was to just be myself and not try to be somebody phony or morph into somebody that I was not. They knew me well enough. They understood that my role changed, my responsibility level changed, my decision-making changed in terms of I was the final decision maker, and they made that very easy for me. They really responded, and our upperclassmen have grown into being very good leaders. Our younger guys that are new to the program have grown immensely over the past 3 months. But I also know that we aren't near where we can be, and that's my job to continue to push and prod and ask them to grow some more. And I know they're excited about what's coming down the road here. So like I said, they've really made it very easy for me to make this transition. There wasn't anybody that wasn't getting in the boat with those 17 in that locker room, and they did it very quickly.
Jeff.
Greg, along the lines of the players, you've talked about them at length. Can you share what that moment was like when you got to tell them yesterday, okay, there's no more interim tag, I'm your guy, and we can move forward?
It was emotional because they've been on the journey with me, but I didn't want them to ever focus on that was the goal. And I've said, and I really mean that. It wasn't about me. It was about trying to make sure they had a great experience here, and they put themselves in a position to make this journey a great experience. So for me, it was, thank you for what you've done for me. Thank you for what you've done for my family. I'm still going to be a pain in your rear end for a while, and we got a lot yet to accomplish. So it was very emotional. A lot of high fives and hugs, and then it was on to someone had to go to class, and I said, we'll see you tomorrow.
Coach, you've just mentioned the emotional part. In December, it was emotional when you were the interim coach. Now you're the head coach. It's emotional again. Yet you keep balancing that. How do you balance that as you move forward with these immediate goals? And then when will it sink in that, hey, this is real?
Well, I don't know if it ever truly. I mean, you just focus on one day at a time, and you focus. You try to look at too big of a picture, and you'll drown in the surroundings that you see. I think maybe in May, after the season's wrapped up and recruiting's wrapped up, we'll be able to step back a little bit and take a breath. But for right now, it's been we've really approached it a day at a time, because I felt if you looked beyond that too much, you were really going to get engulfed in it. So I've really tried to have that mindset of we'll approach this one day at a time, and we'll make the most of each day, and then we'll be better tomorrow than we were today, and keep moving forward like that. So that's really helped me, I think, keep perspective, because we knew the task at hand was large, but it was also surmountable. We could accomplish this if we really approached it the right way.
Straight ahead.
Coach, you talked about earlier now being from Wisconsin, head coach at Wisconsin. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that after putting all the years of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into this, what it really means to you for someone who's never had such a chance?
Well, I think it's, and Paul, I know, can attest to the same thing. I got a chance to spend some time with him yesterday, and thanks for coming in here too, Coach, before you hit to practice this weekend. But I think anytime you have, as Coach Alvarez talked about, two people from the state of Wisconsin, we understand what this program means to the state of Wisconsin and the fans and the residents of the state. We understand what this athletic department means and this university, how important the Badgers are. And it goes way well beyond the athletic fields and courts and those avenues, because I've always viewed me as one of them in terms of the residents of this state, and I think they view me in the same light, like, hey, there's one of your own. So that puts an extra layer of, I won't say pressure, but I mean really specialness in terms of it's really unique that you have, I'm a lucky guy to be able to navigate my way through my career and not have to change my zip code out of the state of Wisconsin. You know how unique that is and rare? You know how special that is? That's unbelievable. And I'm so proud of all the people that have helped me along the way, and I've even missed some family members that are in the back row that snuck in on me, aunts and uncles and cousins. But there's so many people that have had a piece of this, that have had a part in this. No one accomplishes this on their own. As I look in the rearview mirror, and I've done a lot of reflecting here over the last 24 hours, just collecting my thoughts of what I really want to talk about today. I go all the way back to, like I mentioned, the days in Cobb and Hazel Green and Platteville and so forth. All the little springboards and support that people gave you along the way, whether it's just a small experience or years of commitment. I'm the lucky one here today, and I just hope to continue to work extremely hard to continue to make Badger fans smile, and every time they put on their Wisconsin hat or sweatshirt or T-shirt, a big grin comes over their face, and they're ready to root for the Badgers.
And Coach Ryan was someone who really wanted to see you in this position. Have you had a chance to talk to him, and if so, what have you guys talked about?
No, I left him a voicemail on my drive in here this morning. That was just thanked him for the opportunity, for recognizing a 22-year-old young college student that was trying to get into the profession and giving me an opportunity. And it was just a thank you phone call for all the opportunities he's given me over the past 23 plus years.
Greg, would you go so far as to call this your dream job? And if it is, did you ever think it was attainable?
Well, it's been such a long journey, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just been every stop that I've had, all the way to going back to coaching Nedelkoff's 8th grade team that eventually played for us in my final year there and his final year before retirement. We're sophomores, and I always looked at that as that was my dream job. And then to be a freshman coach with him in the 3rd year, that was my dream job. Because I always focused on the task at hand and the current team and really immersed myself in that present time and really focused on the present and just trying to do the best possible job. And that's when, this all was announced back in December, and, it was an interim basis, and that really had no effect to me because I've had a 1-year contract my entire career, Now I've got a 5-year one. Wow. But it's not going to check, and it won't change my approach and my mindset on how I've approached things. So I've always lived in the moment. I've always respected and honored the past, laser focused on the present, and planned and prepared for the future. And that's how we'll approach this and continue to grow this program. Because I think we have still a lot out there we can accomplish and room for this program to really grow. And I'm excited about taking the tradition and building upon it.
Barry, could you talk about the timing of this application process and why you felt it necessary to get this done now as opposed to wait till the end of the season?
Well, and I thought it was important, and I stated this as it all unfolded, that there was a process that we had to go through. We weren't going to be in a big hurry, but as we moved on, I felt there was a time This was the right time, as I talked to the other administrators, to post the job. We had talked to a number of people already. Felt as though we had done our due diligence. There was no reason to go any farther. We've done our jobs. We know who the right man for the job is. The timing's right.